Well, we're expected to win. We have to win. We must win. But human made proposals, God disposes. But we'll put every effort. The boys will put up a fight because we know how important this game is. We'll take it game after game. If it's only 1-0, it's going to be satisfied, but we just need the 3 points tomorrow. Expectations are high, but I trust our boys can do it. No, this is another game. Pressure will always be there. But you know, these boys are playing big leagues. The coach is also experienced now. I haven't worked with under the former coach. You know, playing for Nigeria or coaching Nigeria is like coaching England, Germany, the pressure that comes with it, Spain, Argentina, because we're a football nation. A lot of countries respect us. We have the potentials. So that pressure will always be there. But I think our boys, their nerves will be calm. You know, the goal will come, definitely, but we also plead for patience. It might not come quick, but let's just be patient and be behind the team. At the end of the day, Nigeria will carry the day.
You know, when you think South Africa, you just flash back to 2017 when they came here and beat us. So it's a game that we have, you know, mixed feelings about. But knowing what this set of boys did at the AFCON and also eliminating South Africa, I think that we have the upper hand now, psychologically. Because it's a game where we have two teams that are, like, in terms of prowess, probably equally matched. They have exceptional players, we have exceptional players. But we do know that some of our players are coming on a championship, back of a championship medals. Victor Boniface, Lukman, Ralph Onyedika, of course, and the two guys who maybe one of them will be captain. Talking about Wilfred Ndidi and Kelechi Iheanacho. So we have the players, and it's time to play like we're at home. And so while there are mixed feelings, I'm being very optimistic that at the end of the day, by 10 p.m. or so, we will smile. Of course, I mean, having been with them over 30 days in Côte d'Ivoire, you know, watching them day in, day out, how they rose from being not fancied to being favorites of the tournament. You know what that means? It takes a fighting spirit. Many people didn't give them a chance when we started the tournament, especially when we drew the first game. So the character of the boys is unmatched. I hope that we can have a coaching crew too that would be able to harness the talents and the spirit of these boys. Remember, it's a different dispensation. This is Finidi's first test. It's not the one he played against Ghana or Mali. Those are friendly games. This is his first test. So we have the players. That's why I'm excited about talking about them. But Finidi has to put the icing on the cake and harness them together and make the right selections, devoid of sentiments, knowing that you know, this is a must-win game. We are not on top of the table in this group. So we need to start winning all our games. And if you cannot win at home, then it's a problem. You know, so players are there. The mix of having good coaching, the good players, and then having a very good atmosphere. At this point, you know, many people are looking at how well the turnout will be. Maybe I use the opportunity to call out people. Please, let's come and support this team. Let's make a lot of noise. Let's give them all the love that they can, because this is a very, very important game for us.
Well, it's not out of place for expectations to be high. It's the Super Eagles we're talking about. It's one of those teams that have done well at the World Cup. 2 round of 16 qualifications in the past, and looking at the route now to the next World Cup after missing the last one, it's tough for Nigeria. 2 draws in the opening 2 games, so the expectations naturally should be high. It's a home game against one of the best teams on the continent of Africa at the moment, and every Nigerian wants to see Nigeria at the World Cup, and in games like this, you want the Super Eagles to deliver, and hopefully they can deliver in this game. Well, it's 2 different teams. At that time, if you look at the South African team, with the exception of Pesitao, I think none other player was a part of that team at the time, so it's a totally different team. We've tested them before at the last AFCON, so it gives us an idea into how they play. They've not had many changes, same players who prosecuted the last AFCON, and the same manager as well. But on the Nigerian side, there's been some change in the personnel. Even in the players, you have new players coming in. Sadiq Ismail, Kenneth Iboke, and a host of others. Benjamin Tanimu hadn't made his debut at the last AFCON before he was invited for the last round of friendlies. And you have Finidi George, who I'm sure will not be playing the same pattern that Jose Peseiro played. So we're going to have a different feel of the Super Eagles. And the South Africans as well, a totally different team from what we had in 2017. Even though Pesita was part of that team, he scored against Nigeria on this ground. But like both coaches have said, it's a different game. The target is different. It's a home game. You'll have the away fixture as well. So everybody's trying to approach it the best way possible and try to grind out the results. And if you look at the quality in the Nigerian squad, I think nothing short of a victory should be acceptable to Nigerians, because we have some of the best players playing in Europe. Ademola Lookman, a hat-trick scorer in the final of the UEFA Europa League. No player from any part of the world has done that before. He's with the team now. Kelechi Iheanacho has been with the team for quite a while. Victor Boniface, fresh from winning the Bundesliga with Bayer Leverkusen as well. Semi Ajayi was a rock at the last AFCON. You can name all of these players. Stanley Wabali plays in South Africa. He knows these players. He knows how they play. And he can predict what they want to do with the ball. So I think we have a squad that looks pretty good and should deliver tomorrow.
Oh, I am super excited about the upcoming match. You know, South Africa and Nigeria have this viral Amapiano or Afrobeat thing. So I've always been team Afrobeat, so I am here to support Nigeria. And I like when the whole energy is high. My expectation or my prediction. Okay, my prediction today will be 2-0, 2 to Nigeria and 0 to South Africa. I was at the AFCON and I saw what we did, how great we did. So I'm really rooting for Nigeria and I know they can do it.
I think the Super Eagles of Nigeria should be able to get 3 points. We didn't start our World Cup journey on a high note. We just got 2 points from 2 games, which is really bad. I expected us to have gotten like all 6 points and go into this game comfortably, but that puts us in the pinnacle, because right now we need to get all 3 points against a South African team that we met during the AFCON in the semi-finals, and it was really a tough team for us to defeat to head into the finals of the AFCON. So I think we have an equipped team, a team full of strong players that plays in Europe and at where the best tier in our league, which is called the MPFL. So I expect the Super Eagles to get all 3 points and put us in a good position going into the second leg in Ivory Coast. The prediction, as I said, Nigeria to win, maybe 2 goals, 1 goal from Ademola Lookman, and maybe Boniface or Murphy will get the other goal. No, it doesn't put, they are professionals. This is their job. It's like us coming here to do our job. So whether we wake up from sleep, you tap us, we know what definitely to say. So they are professionals. I don't think it should put any or bring any disrupts to the game plan of the team. They have a very good reason for them to have arrived late to the camp. So whether it's justifiable is different, but they have a reason. So I don't think it will mean anything. The only thing I want the team, or I expect the team to do, is bring their A game when going to play against South Africa. But as it stands right now, I think it's nothing when it comes to that. It's just like outside talk, which I think the players as well as the team should keep that out and focus on the job at hand, which is get the 3 points here at home and do the rest away from home.
Well, we are quite very expectant that tomorrow is going to come out positive. But you know, in recent years, South Africa has been improving over time. So it's a bit scary to look at the form that they are in right now, especially considering the last encounter we had. We escaped by the Whiskers on that occasion. And what is even more worrying is the fact that our preparation for tomorrow's match hasn't been the best of preparations. But all in all, we hope that the Super Eagles will have the day. Definitely, you cannot come into a match of this magnitude 2 days, 1 day to the encounter. It doesn't make for good team cohesion. At least the team has been here since last weekend. So the players should at least have been here 4 or 5 days earlier. So for some players to start strolling in like yesterday for a match that's going to be played tomorrow, I don't think it's the right attitude. I think it's the responsibility of the NFA to really stamp their feet on this sort of thing, that when you are called to camp, you are supposed to report to camp and not to start gallivanting around the world for one thing or the other, and then you arrive at camp late, because it upsets the team's preparation. And that's part of the worry that I expressed earlier, that the team hasn't had the best of preparations. Well, because of the pedigree of Nigerian football, we are going to grind out a win. So I look at 2-0, 2 to Nigeria, 0 to South Africa.